Once upon a time, in the 1800s in Germany, there was a man named Karl Marx. He was a thinker, not like the ones you find sitting in big libraries, but a thinker who wanted to understand why the world worked the way it did. Karl Marx had a friend named Friedrich Engels. Together they wrote a powerful book called The Communist Manifesto. It wasn't an ordinary book, it was like a call to action for the working people, those who had to toil hard every day to make a living. In their book, Marx and Engels talked about a big struggle in society. On one side were the rich people who owned everything, the factories, the land, and all the important stuff. They called these folks the bourgeoisie. On the other side were the workers, the regular folks like you and me, trying to make a living by selling their time and labor. They were the proletariat. Marx and Engels believed that these two groups were always fighting, and the workers would eventually stand up against the rich. They dreamed of a day when the working class, the proletariat, would rise up, overthrow the rich, and create a fair society where everyone shared everything. Later, Marx wrote another big book called Das Kapital. This book wasn't an easy read, but it was like a guide to understanding money, work, and why some people get really rich while others struggle. Marx talked about how in a capitalist society, where money and profits rule, workers often get a raw deal. He said that the value of things we buy is connected to the work people put into making them, and that the system wasn't always fair. One cool idea Marx had was about commodity fetishism. No, it's not magic. It's about how things we buy can trick us. He said that in a capitalist world, we might forget that things are made by people and instead treat them like magical objects with their own worth. Marx also talked a lot about the state, not the states like Texas or California, but the government. He believed that governments were tools used by the rich to control everyone else. He dreamed of a time when the working class would take over the government and eventually, there wouldn't be a need for a government at all. Now, not everyone liked Marx's ideas. Some said he was too focused on conflict and revolution. Others thought his predictions about the fall of capitalism didn't quite come true. Yet his ideas sparked something big. In the years that followed, people in different parts of the world tried to follow Marx's ideas. In Russia, there was a revolution led by the Bolsheviks and Vladimir Lenin. They wanted to create a society where everyone shared everything, just like Marx had dreamed. But as with any big idea, there were challenges. Some places that claimed to follow Marx's ideas ended up with governments that were too controlling, and things didn't always turn out as planned. Despite the criticisms and challenges, Karl Marx's ideas have never really gone away. They still pop up in discussions about fairness, equality, and how our society works. Whether you agree with him or not, Karl Marx was a guy who wanted to make the world a better place for everyone, and that's a story worth remembering. In the quiet town of Trier, young Karl Marx grew up surrounded by the echoes of societal injustice. The son of a lawyer, he was expected to follow in his father's footsteps, but the fervor for change burned brightly within him. As a boy, he observed the stark divide between the wealthy bourgeoisie and the struggling proletariat, igniting a passion for social justice that would shape his destiny. Karl's life took a profound turn during his university days in Bonn. There, he forged friendships with intellectuals who shared his dissatisfaction with the status quo. Late-night discussions in dimly lit taverns became the crucible for his evolving ideology. It was during one of these fervent debates that he met Friedrich Engels, a young man from a wealthy industrialist family who had a front-row seat to the exploitation of the working class. Engels exposed Marx to the grim realities of factory life in Manchester, painting a vivid picture of child labor, grueling working conditions, and meager wages. The visit to the heart of industrial capitalism left an indelible mark on Marx's soul, and he realized that theoretical discourse alone would not suffice. His convictions demanded action. The two young intellectuals, fueled by their shared discontent, embarked on a journey of intellectual exploration. They delved into the works of political economists, philosophers, and historians, seeking the key to unlocking the chains that bound the proletariat. Marx's passion and intellect soared, leading him to Paris, a hotbed of radical thought in the mid-19th century. In the lively cafes and cramped apartments of Paris, Marx found a community of like-minded thinkers, including the influential socialist Pierre-Joseph Proudhon. Yet, despite the vibrant intellectual environment, financial struggles plagued Marx's family. Poverty became a persistent shadow, emphasizing the very inequalities he sought to eradicate. Marx's life changed dramatically when he encountered the writings of the German philosopher Georg Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel. The dialectical method and historical materialism in Hegel's works resonated deeply with Marx, providing a theoretical foundation for his revolutionary ideas. The synthesis of Hegelian philosophy and a critical analysis of political economy became the cornerstone of his magnum opus, Das Kapital. However, intellectual pursuits did not shield Marx from the harsh realities of life. Exiled from multiple countries due to his radical views, he faced poverty and displacement. Despite these hardships, Marx remained unwavering in his commitment to exposing the inherent contradictions of capitalism. It was in London, during the tumultuous years of the mid-19th century, that Marx's life took an unexpected turn. Engels, ever loyal and supportive, provided financial stability, allowing Marx to focus on his groundbreaking work. The Marx family settled in Soho, where Karl and his wife Jenny created a home that became a gathering place for revolutionaries and intellectuals. As Marx's seminal work unfolded, the world around him was undergoing profound changes. The Industrial Revolution accelerated, and the exploited masses grew more conscious of their plight. Marx's ideas gained traction, finding resonance among workers who yearned for a society free from the shackles of capitalism. The climax of Marx's life-changing journey unfolded in 1867 with the publication of the first volume of Das Kapital. The intricate analysis of capitalism's inner workings, rooted in historical materialism, captivated the minds of many. Marx, the revolutionary thinker, had now become Marx, the author of a transformative masterpiece. Despite battling illness and financial struggles until his final days, Marx's legacy endured. His ideas inspired social movements, revolutions, and the formation of socialist and communist parties worldwide. The story of Karl Marx is one of intellectual evolution, fueled by a burning desire for justice, equality, and a world liberated from the chains of exploitation. In the end, Marx's life was not just a personal journey, but a catalyst for societal transformation.